Hello and welcome to this video where we'll look at how to migrate Mintsoft users over to Access Evo. This will enable you to use the most current login methods and also the new Mintsoft mobile app. To begin, we'll head to the Access button at the top left hand side and then open Access Evo. Next, we will head to the icon at the top right that looks like two people. This is your Members tab, and here you can manage your colleagues. You will be able to add your colleagues on this page and give them access to Mintsoft. The benefit of doing it here is so that, depending on permissions, you and your colleagues can access the other products you get as part of Evo, found via the Access button up here. And if you subscribe to any other Access software in the future, you'll find it here also, meaning you can manage your colleagues all from one place. There are three different ways that you can add your colleagues. If you go to the Add button here, you can choose to add them by email address or by username if they don't have an email address, such as a temporary worker. The third way is that you can upload your colleagues by clicking on the settings wheel here and then going Import Members. I'll show you how to do these shortly, but if you plan on having username colleagues, there's something that you must do first. Click on your name at the top right hand side and go to Organization Settings. You need to enable what's called a friendly URL. If we scroll down, you can set your friendly URL here. Just make sure that while doing so, you tick the box to allow username members to be added. Once you've done this, head back to Members and you can begin adding your colleagues. Let's take a look at adding an email address colleague. We click Add, and then we click Using an email address. And you can simply put in their email address, add a message if you like, and then click Add, and the colleague will receive an email with a link to log in and set their password. The best way to do this is to click here, Add Members Individually, and then you can enter their name and email address and choose in advance if they are a user or administration of the Access Evo platform. Next, we'll take a look at adding a username colleague. We click Add once more and click Using a username. You can put in their first name, last name, and the username that they'll log in with. And then also choose if they're a user or administrator of the Access platform. If we click Next, you'll get a pop-up appear so you can set the password on their behalf. The reason for this is that for a username colleague, they won't receive an email to set their own password, and you'll need to give the details to them. Once they do log in, they can change their password. Before a colleague can access Mintsoft, we need to make sure that Mintsoft has been given to them in their roles. You can click on a colleague using the three dots and then click on Manage Roles. Here, you can once again change if they're a user or administrator of the Access Evo platform, and below you'll have products. These are the products that you'll find within Access Evo, and down below you'll see Mintsoft. If you put somebody as a Mintsoft administrator, their user is created in Mintsoft with full permissions over everything. If you put someone as a Mintsoft user, then you can change their permissions in Mintsoft depending on what they need access to. If we close this user, you can also change this in bulk for people. So let's say I've just created 3 users. I could tick, 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 and then on the right hand side I could add an action against these users, such as assigning a product role, which would be Mintsoft as a user. Then if I click Assign and click Apply, it will ask me to confirm, and these 3 users will now have access to Mintsoft. And in the usual place within Mintsoft, you could go to Settings, scroll down to Warehouse User Accounts, and you would find these users, and on the right hand side, like normal, you could click Actions and manage their roles in more detail. Finally, we'll take a look at how to add colleagues in bulk. If we click Settings, we can then click Import Members. Here you will be able to download a template. We'll take a look at that now. On this template, you can create email address users or username users by simply filling in only the email address or a username and temporary password. You can also fill in a colleague's details in advance to save them the trouble. And if you scroll over to the right-hand side, for example, we can look at the Mintsoft role. You could choose that that user is an administrator or a user in advance by selecting the drop-down and putting the roles as required. Once you've filled in the template, you can go back to Access Evo, and then you can select or drag and drop the file here. If you're confident, you can click Import, or if you click Validate Only, it will check the template and let you know if you've made any mistakes. It's important to know that if you're adding a colleague with an email address that already exists in Mintsoft, it will cause a clash between the two systems and that colleague won't be able to log in. What you'll need to do in that case is first delete the user from Mintsoft so that they can be created in Evo, which will then create them in Mintsoft once again. Head to Mintsoft, back to the Warehouse User Accounts page, and on the right hand side of a user, when you click Actions, you can simply delete them from there. And finally, we'll take a look at how to log into Mintsoft. It may be the case if you're using the old method that even as a warehouse user, you are clicking to log in as a customer or client sign-in. Using an Access Evo login, you can click on Warehouse Admin Sign-In. This will redirect you to the Access Evo sign-in page where you can put in your email address, click Next, and then put in your password. If you have a username account, you simply click on Sign in with username, and then you can put in the organization ID, which should match the friendly URL. For example, mine was Will Hammond Test Workspace. And then I can put in my username. I could even tick remember this username. And then I can put in my password. Now I will be signed into Mintsoft, and because I logged in through the correct method, I will also have the access button at the top left hand side so that I have easy access to the other tools at my disposal. Thank you for watching, and I hope this video helps. Bye for now.